I was supposed to go live like 20 minutes ago. Well, I guess it's because this is the beginning. My phone refused to charge. It's not charging. It's doing anything and everything except charging. Yeah. Yesterday power went out. I was supposed to go live yesterday. And then power went out. And then I had no internet for most of the night. But nonetheless, I'll still start the discussion and take time to watch it in your own free time. Okay? Okay. So Speedify had a few questions yesterday but one. And I figured they were worth a video of their own because the concept of the questions is actually long. Okay? So let us begin. Now, Speedify wanted to know what is best to use in your foundation. And my questions were very specific. I was telling you the other day that when it comes to construction, your foundation is determined. I mean, the material that you use in your foundation is determined by the type of soil and the type of land, the height of land, the gravity of your situation, what the weather looks like where you are building. Because believe it or not, the foundation is actually the foundation of the house. When I emphasize foundation, I simply mean without the foundation, you don't have a good house. The foundation of the house determines the health and the longevity of or the lifespan of your house. So take your foundation very seriously. Now today I'm going to break down different things. Hi Christopher, good night. Thanks for coming in. Today I'm going to break down a few things. I hope they help you in your journey to attaining or building your dream house. Number one, there is different types of land. We have, and this is mostly for Africa, because I think it's in Africa where we are building with bricks. Okay, I don't think the rest of the world is heavily building with bricks, blocks, stuff like that. Most of them are using wood and other material, but very light material. Now, let's start. Okay. In Africa, we have different types of land. We have flat land, we have semi-hill and hills, right? So the more steep your house or the more steep your land, this comes with different problems. Why? And what are the problems? Water, erosion, okay? We have a water problem, but what is the major problem? The major problem is not even the water, it's the erosion, the process of erosion itself. Let me give you an example. Let me use my Bible. Imagine this is your land, right? Well, you're going to build, you want to build your house here and you want it to sit here. But your land is tilted like this. That means this is a slope. Your house can no longer stand like this because there is no house that's standing like this. It can stand like this. This is how it can stand. So it can stand like this and it can stand like this. That is based on a different angle over, but it can also face downwards. Now, the lower the house faces, the more material it's going to cost you. Let me explain. If you're building and your house is facing up, right? It means you have to raise the floating side, sorry, the sloping side to reach the top side. But that's not even the concept of the video. The concept is material. What are the problems of erosion? And what are the different materials that we use to build your foundation? The first one is red bricks. Now, red bricks, if you've ever made red bricks, you know they don't take much keen. How do I call it in regular English words? The process of burning like a brick, right? Where is this phone? Sorry. When you make your brick, you have to burn it, right? What is the regular word for kiln? Look, for concrete blocks, you have to cure. But for clay bricks and red bricks, you have to burn them to make them strong. Everything needs pressure. Is it cement? No. They don't require cement to make them. Hold on. Because the machine, the process is kiln, like the word itself. But I need like a simpler word so everyone understands. Firing is big. Anyway, let me just use burning because the other word is too crazy. It's a bit hard for most people. They'll get lost. So when you make your red bricks, if you know the process is you make them, you put them under the sun, and then after you collect them, okay, bake it. No, it's not baking. So when you make red bricks, clay bricks, the process is actually the same. They can actually have the same mold, right? Though the mold for clay bricks is slightly sharp-edged, more sharp-edged than red bricks. What are red bricks? In my country, we call them soiled bricks. Now, red bricks or regular bricks are the bricks you make from regular soil. Any soil where you're walking, you dig, you put in water, you make it soft, chunk it until it's no particles. You put it in a mold and then you place it somewhere. But ideally, if you're making them, I wouldn't advise you to put them on bare floor. Sometimes if you want to save money and you have time on your hands, you can peel the top layer of your entire land where you're going to build. After peeling the top layer, and this only applies for people that are not on hills. If your land is flat, you can peel the top layer, hire some people to smash the soil for you, and then make bricks for you. You could save some money. That's another hack, okay? How to save money when you're building. This is for red bricks. So that's a top layer. You peel off the top layer, have people make some bricks for you out of it. Now, the process of making these bricks is actually very simple. As long as you have the raw materials, water is crucial. Without water, you can't make the bricks. But red bricks are they are not often, I don't advise people to often use them in the foundation for so many reasons. Why? Because the process of burning them to strengthen them is actually slower than the process of burning anything else. Let me give you an example. When you're done making your red bricks, if you need like a full tree to burn the bricks to strength, for red bricks, you'd need half a tree. And then for clay bricks, you'd probably need 1.5 trees or even 2 trees. You understand? So this alone is an indication of how easier the process is to make red bricks. So when you put them in the soil, they're not that strong. They are soil itself, but they're not that strong. Now, how do we choose what to put inside the soil? We choose absorption of water. Why? Because underground, the water is still moving. The water is not going to stop moving just because you built a house on the soil. Underneath your house where you stay, water is still circulating through that soil. And if you're unlucky and you have trees nearby, their roots are still moving towards your house. They don't care. They don't care if you're building there. For them, they'll keep moving because they're following the water. And if, God forbid, under your house is not secured enough, the roots are going to come under your house, apply pressure because they are following the water. Now, if you're building with soil bricks, they don't have enough absorption capacity. What does that mean? The soil bricks are not very good at absorbing and spitting out water. When they absorb water, they hold it for longer periods of time, which is not favorable for your house. These are what you call soil bricks, red bricks, or regular bricks. When they swallow water, they can consume the water, but the problem is spitting it out. They take a very long time or longer periods to spit the water out, which means they can easily transport this water up the wall instead of spitting it back into the surrounding soil. Ideally, they should absorb and spit it out so it can keep moving. But for soil bricks, they will swallow it and then wait for when the sun is really, really much, then it evaporates. But what if it takes long to shine that hard enough for them to actually spit? Challenges. So if you're building on a hill, if you're building on a slope, semi-slope, a wet area, any area that you see has, even if it's flat, but if the weather where you are building, it rains more than 4 times a month, I wouldn't advise them. I wouldn't. If you do them, then know that this is like not a permanent building. It's permanent, but by permanent I mean it after maybe 25 years, 30 years, it's going to start getting problems. And for some are not even that lucky, it gets problems soon. That is why you get mold in the walls. You start seeing airbags in your side of the wall. That is why, like stuff like that. Your house, you can't breathe well in your house. You move into a house, but you can barely breathe at night. There are so many issues. Those are usually water problems. Okay, so soil bricks are cheaper because I think the price for soil bricks right now, the most expensive you can buy it is like 300 Ugandan shillings. That is in my country. And then the cheapest is like 200, maybe 180, 160, like that. They come off cheap, but they have their own repercussions, which are long term and can actually affect your health in the long term. Your health is important, so treat it as such. Okay, so I've given my submission on regular red bricks. I don't advise them unless you're in a very dry area, number one. That is for the foundation, not for the rest of the house. Okay. And then I don't advise people who are in wet areas to use them because of their low absorption capacity. Actually, they have a normal absorption capacity, but then my status says and pay attention to them. Okay, I'm not a child for you to play and toy with all the time. I see you call me sometimes and I ignore your calls because a lot of you carry so much disrespect towards me, mostly because I've allowed you to be very close to me. Familiarity breeds contempt. Let's respect each other, okay? Anyway, let's move forward. Now, let's move to clay bricks. Now, clay bricks are the best alternative because they have no issues whatsoever. In the ground, whatever is wrong with soil bricks, clay bricks overturn. Clay bricks, if you get the right quality of clay bricks, they have the capacity to absorb and spit out water almost immediately. They have the capacity to do that. That's number one. Number two, clay itself is long lasting in the sense that no matter how old and affected it gets, it keeps working over time. But this is where people do it wrong. When we are building the house, I wish I had bricks to show you, but let me try to get like an analysis for this. Yes, let me use this phone, right? Hold on. Your brick is going to look like this, right? This is your brick, your regular brick. When we are building, imagine this is the foundation of your house. It's coming from me to you. If you build your clay bricks like this, one next to the other, next to the other, next to the other, that's wrong. In your foundation, you are supposed to turn the brick like this. We call it a 9x9. Locally, you can call it a chisenge cha mwenda. Say chomukaga, this is chamukaga, this is chamwenda. You are supposed to get your bricks stacked like this, next to each other. Not horizontal, but vertical. Now, which one is vertical, which one is horizontal? But you get what I'm saying. So they should come off thicker. The wall itself should be thicker going away from you. Not long ways. Long ways is cheaper to do, but it has consequences. This way, it is safer. More expensive, but safer. I don't know if you get my point. When you do it this way, even if it's a clay brick, you're going to get the same, not exact, but similar results to what someone is getting when they are building with a soil brick. Because the more they are, the better they operate in your benefit. I've discussed that. So if you don't understand it, you can always consult with me. Please pay me. You should be paying me for these things. You don't buy memberships. You don't like my videos. You don't watch ads. Magalaj. This knowledge here, I had to pay heavy money to learn. But anyway, that's not what we came here for. So clay bricks are almost the best alternative, but they are not the best. Why? If you are building in a swampy or waterlogged area, most of you right now, you're buying land, but you don't know the type of land you're buying because you've not pre-existed in this location. What land sellers are doing right now, they'll buy a swamp, a pure swamp out. Something you know is a swamp, it's a wet. Sorry, my internet keeps acting up. It's supposed to expire in about 3 hours. So anyway, when people who are selling land, because the times have changed, a lot of things have changed. That is why most of you are getting shocked right now. The governments are telling you you built in a wetland, but when you bought it, it was not a wetland, but it is a wetland. That is why you built your house in a location. After building, suddenly it's flooding. Water is not going to change its direction because you built in it. It's still going to come until you give the water where to go. So the land sellers, this is actually genius. They make sure they buy during wet season, they clear during dry season and sell, and quickly try to sell during dry season. You, when you come to buy, you're buying in dry season. This is another advice. If you can buy land, wait for a wet season to buy. Don't buy land in a dry season. Don't. Wait for when the rains are too much and then go do a site visit, like a land visit, and see where you're buying. if you go into a place to buy land, and when you step in it, it's soaking, like you feel like you're sinking. I promise you, that was a wetland that was refilled with soil later. They buy a pure wetland, get tractors, and clear the all these papyrus, whatever is there, they clear it out. They buy maram, they compact it in that place. They'll come and pour it back to back, and compact it. And it looks so flat, no water issues, nothing. Because the amount of depth they. Hi, Bavel, what's up? Hi, Bavel, what's up? Sorry, my phone kept ringing back to back. So, what was I saying? Now, I was saying, so when they compact the soil or the land that you are set to buy, it takes a very long time for that grass to grow because of the distance between what the soil, the amount of soil that was put in it, and how long it takes for it to come to the ground. They know this, and they calculate it so perfectly to a point that they know by the time their plots are done going, by the time you realize it, it'll be too late. You've already purchased. So please, always, because when it's a wet season, the grass grows faster. It comes out faster, much faster. So if it's dry season, it takes a very long time. Almost, you never know. You never know that you bought a wetland. Okay. So now, for example, if you happen to have bought your land and you're not sure what type of land that you have. In fact, let me start this way. If your land that you're buying has red soil on top of it, chances are very high it's compacted land. Chances are very high. Red soil is not supposed to be on top of your land. It shouldn't, unless you're living in a semi-desert or you have been grazing cattle and cows on it. So your soil, your top soil is supposed to be black. Hi. They're using the red bricks mostly because it's cheaper. And ideally, mostly because construction does not come with profit. It's an expense. It's actually building a house to sleep in is a liability. It's crazy to put it that way, but it is, unless you're in your retirement years. But building a residential house for you to build in, and the bigger the house, the bigger the liability. Because let's give an example. You have 4 kids right now. They're young. How long are these kids going to stay with you? They'll probably stay with you for maybe 10 years, right? And you're building a mansion, 16 bedrooms, 10 bedrooms, 8 bedrooms. When they are a bit older, they're going to move out. And then it's going to be you and your wife. And if you're lucky, that will be it. If you're not lucky, you'll be alone because you'll probably be divorced. So you have a huge house on your hands. You can't even rent it out because chances are high you don't even like people in your space. And then what? So big houses are luxurious, yes, but they are a liability. The bigger the house, the bigger the loss, the bigger the liability. A lot of these things, people do them because they have the money, maybe. If you have the money, why not? But if you don't have the money and you have to scrape around and save around, you shouldn't build a house bigger than 4 bedrooms. You shouldn't. I don't see a point as to why. Because at the end of the day, this is in Africa anyway. I speak for Africans. This is in Africa because half the time your kids are away in school. Most of these people's kids are in boarding school. Okay? They're away. And then if they're not away, they're still going to grow up to a point where they have to go and start off their own lives, and then they're going to leave you behind. And then you're stuck in a huge house, empty as fuck, too loud, too hollow. What happens? So most of you are chasing dreams that are not even dreams. They're just fantasies. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be speaking from a point of poverty. I'll be there in December, but I need an architect to design 3-bedroom using a stacking brick. Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. I charge a consultation fee and I can help you with that. My consultation fee is a one-time fee, 180,000 Ugandan shillings. Please pay me. Stop using my brain for free. I love you all. Anyway, back to this. So the moment you have bought land and you find that your land has red soil on top, bare red soil, it's like red soil everywhere, and your neighboring people are not even building their farming. If they are farming things like sugar canes, you're in a wetland. If they are farming things like yams, you're in a wetland. If they are farming things like eucalyptus, you're in a wetland. If they are farming, like, these are signs. Look at the neighboring people. What are they farming? Even if they are not building, what are they farming? Because there are specific things that can only grow perfectly well in a wetland. I'm speaking for Uganda. I don't know other countries. So when you look at your surrounding area where you're buying, and then you see the predominant agriculturalists are growing this, growing that, growing this, then you have to start questioning some things. So most of you, when you're buying land, you don't question this. You don't even know what to question. You're just happy the land is valid and it's going to be in your names. Yeah, but what happens later? And when you buy land, before you even build on it, wait for rainy seasons, 2 rainy seasons to pass. Wait for 2. Don't buy and build immediately. Wait for 2 rainy seasons to pass. Inspect the land and see what becomes of it, what truly becomes of it when it rains. And then decide afterwards. Anyway, but in case any of these happen to you, your land is slightly sinking when you step on it and it has rained, there is a difference between mud and gravel. Is it called gravel? Where the sinking is too much, as if you're in like some kind of swamp. It's not a swamp. There is an English word for it. When you step on very wet land and it feels like you're sinking, that feeling, that one. If the builders are coming, please use aggregate stones in your foundation. Aggregate stones are the best alternative, because even if they are not standing on comes, it doesn't affect you much. You will still be affected. Nothing in this world absorbs and spits out water faster than nothing. Of course, we have different types of stones. So with aggregate stones, we have the black ones, the yellow ones, the white ones. This is for Uganda. I don't know other countries. In Uganda, we even have purple stones, yeah? But those are so rare. In fact, if you ever come across a place that has purple stones, and that's where you're supposed to build, please don't build. Don't build there. Why? Because you will have to incur so much cost to blow those stones up. Yep, you will. Purple stones are rare, but they are some of the strongest. They are so hard in that to even blow and build on them, right? Thank you for the follow. To build on them is actually very complex. It's complex. And this is the thing. Recently, someone tried to hire me to build a house for them. Their entire land is a rock. Look, I know most of you say when you're building on a rock, you don't need to excavate for a foundation, just build on top of a rock. But you need to understand that we have other things at play. When you have a rock and you refuse to even excavate maybe 1 foot below to have the base inside it, your house in time, I don't care how long, especially if you're on a hill, you will be affected by erosion. It will be erased. I promise you, it will be erased. Your house is not made of rocks. You're building on a rock, but you're not building with rocks. Big difference. Unless you're going to build with concrete stones on top of this rock. But most of you, because you see a rock, your brain tells you, nah, you can just get soil bricks. This rock is strong. It's not going anywhere. Put the bricks there. Let them out. Let's build on the, yo, I promise you, when the water is eroding, because every time you see a rock, understand that what made this rock stronger is water. Yeah, rocks are majorly, yes, they are created by the earth itself, but also water plays a very big role in making them strong. Water keeps finding rocks and it keeps looking for them. In fact, rocks look for water. It's some type of research I've read before. You do your own research, but where there are rocks, I promise you there is water. I don't care how you argue with this. These rocks are going to look for the water, swallow it to make themselves stronger, and then spit it out. You built on this rock that is actively searching for water back to back. What happens? What happens when this rock can't stop searching for the water? And this is why most of you that build by lakes, rivers, and stuff like that end up having your houses molding. You don't know why. It's because the rocks love water. Rocks are obsessed with water. They are obsessed. That is why it is very rare to see anybody doing agriculture next to a rocky area. They avoid it. They try as much as possible to not grow anything near rocky areas. Why? It's not because there is no water. No, it's because plants rarely win the competition for minerals and for water especially. And that's why every place that has rocks in it barely has a forest on it. It is so rare. On top of these rocks, it will be like some weird grass growing on it, small plants, like those Brazilian plants growing there. Like you will never catch a blown out forest on top of a rock. Never. Why? Because the rocks love water. They consume it at a very high rate. And that is why we build with them. We go to water places and build with them because we know when this water is eroding towards your house, the water will attack the rock first because it's in the foundation. And this rock will absorb and spit it out, absorb and spit it out. The rock stays alive even when you've broken it off its mother. I need to be paid for this. This is serious research. This information is vital. I know you all didn't know this. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I made the decision to teach you something new every day. So here we go. So if you are building in a water area, an area you don't understand, you don't trust, it's a hill, it's a slope, if you don't understand, just put aggregate stones in your foundation. And please don't put the white stones in there. Now, when you go to buy aggregate stones, right, get a hammer. If you can't afford a hammer, get a stone, a big stone. If you go, there is a sound a strong rock makes. If you hit that rock and it sounds like a piece of paper, I don't know if you know how a solid paper would sound, don't buy it. If you hit it and then you grab it and you can do this with it, that rock, don't buy it. A strong rock, when you hit it, it should make a very sharp sound, as if an echo, very sharp. And then, but do you people have time for this? But then, when you finally crack it, and you try to do this with it, like try to make a flower out of it, it will pierce you. You'll not even be able to do this twice. You'll be like, ooh, 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 pricky. That is a strong stone. Now that is the stone you buy. And be careful, because most of the sellers mix them up. They will mix up the good stones and the bad ones because they want to make profit. Okay? So that's why I always advise, if you've decided to use the black rocks, stick to black. Say, I want black rocks. But even not all black rocks are strong, because then we have those that are like, it's like a, what is that earth thing called? Whereby it's like a slice where when you hit it, instead of breaking, it cracks, like it slices out like a bread. Like it slices. Hey, this is why most people are suffering. You don't have time for this. You don't have time for this. The shortcut is just employ someone who knows what they are doing. Simple as that. But most people don't know what they are doing. They might know how to build, but they don't know how to select material. You don't understand how crucial that stage is. Yes, how are you? Come. What's up? Sorry. So, are we together? The best alternative is concrete stones. And please, I don't care. I swear, I don't care where you're building, how much money you have. Never put concrete blocks in your foundation. That is a no. It's a no. Never. They are not capable of spitting out water without exposure to the sun. In the ground, they are not exposed to the sun. They will absorb that water, and instead of the water helping them to make them stronger, they will get weaker. They will get weak. I promise that house will crumble. The other hack, if you want to still save money on construction, imagine this is the shape of your land. Okay, your land is shaped like this. It's like a square. This is a triangle, right? If you don't have enough money, remember the pressure of the water is coming from up, sloping down, right? It's rare for water to attack your land from the sides. The water will attack your house from above and below. And the most bearing pressure is below, because what comes down what comes up must go down. So you can always put concrete stones here and here where the pressure is expected. And then in the sides, you use clay bricks to save on money. Okay? That is a hack. Take it or leave it. And make sure you put weeping holes through your foundation. Weeping holes are like the holes that are used to release the water when it comes, like creating pathways through your foundation so the water can proceed somewhere else. If the water sits there for too long, whatever you've used is not strong enough to compete for that much capacity of water. Weeping holes are necessary. And also, if you're using concrete stones, make sure the weeping holes are actually really big. Stop using these regular pipes and small pipes to make weeping holes. I have so many hacks for weeping holes, but I'm not teaching you that one. I'll not tell you that one. I must keep something to myself. So, red bricks versus clay bricks versus concrete stones versus concrete blocks. The top winner is concrete stones. The second winner is clay bricks. And the third winner is soil bricks. Concrete blocks are not anywhere a winner. They are not anywhere a winner unless you're building in a desert. I don't know if you know what a desert is, but if you're building in a desert, it's okay. You can use your concrete blocks from ground up. That is why most of you copy too much. You watch content from countries like Namibia, and then you're like, oh, this is my building. How come? And then they come to you, they come in my inbox and they're, Doreen Olimuyai, you're lying to us. Eh? I just watched this. This YouTuber has more followers than you. But you see how he's building with these blocks from the ground up. You see the foundation. It looks good. I'm like, okay, you can do it. As if you're also in that country. As if you're building in that same environment. Yeah, most of you copy too much. You watch one video because, oh, someone has so many views and so many followers, so many likes. You're like, yeah. This is what I must do. Doreen is lying to us. Okay. I don't argue with people anymore. And please, when you come to me and I give you advice and you don't take it and your problems come, don't come to me. Don't come back to me. That's why these days I don't give most of you time, because I gave you advice and you didn't take it. They don't take it. They really don't. You think I'm lying? Most of them say, that one is she's a woman, she's a girl. What does she know? Hi Miyaji, long time. Money. How are you? So please stop copying. You can watch videos for inspiration, but make sure you actually have a consultation from somebody that is in your own country, in your own location, someone who understands where you're putting your building, someone who understands the concept of what you're doing. And stop being too cheap. Most of you, because you're like, I need to end this live. It's been a while. Who is not taking it serious? Most people. Angie, mommy. Tewali ogamba otya mami? Da nakuweereza video banzigyako kanila ecupa zaaweddeyo. Zaaweddeyo lwakuba nina kamunguluze nakomyewo nensoka neebakamu eddakiika nga 3 nga mpulira siraba maaso. Ndaba amaaso tegalaba nga nfa. Endaku. No. Amazzi ngafumbye lwakubanga siina za glucose. Glucose ye siina. Oyo glucose simuyina. Siina glucose. Siina ate ne Minute Maid wange yaweddemu kati. Kituufu. Nabadde siraba, nagenza otuuka ewaka nga siraba nga maaso tegalaba. Teyabadde kwinini. Just omutwe gwange ndowooza aba gubadde gukooyerera engeri gye ntambudde ennyo. Ajjukira okuva eri wansi ntambuddewo ekitundu nga booda embuze. Mutabani era ansanze anti nadde namukubidde nagamba ali wala ate nga saagala kulwayo eyo wansi nga tesiina kyenkola. Nze namukubidde nagamba ajja. Jamiru sikyamwefasa okuva we yali enaajange. Muyaayemuuko. Muyaaye. Waayo yanereetereza. Nali simanyi. Ogenda kulya ku luwombo. Hey. Bana. Mm. Waliwo eno ku yaya. Yaya eri eno nga kisaasi. Balina oluwombo olulungi. Baba n'oluwombo olulungi. Bagita yaya. Da, jjukira zaadde zimala bumazi. Kale mami. Meyanza nnyo mami. Larry, fine chocolate. Thank you. Oh, I was speaking my local language. I was speaking to my mommy. I've been very sick. I got discharged from the hospital today. When I came back from the hospital, my eyes could not see at all. I did my last IVs today. And I think that's mainly why yesterday I couldn't go live. Yes, I didn't have battery, but I was not feeling well at all. I was so dizzy. Today I was blind for like 40 minutes. I could barely see. My eyes were, I couldn't see. I mean, what the fuck, man? It's so dirty. Look at your mouth. What did you eat? Ew. Go away. Dirty, dirty cat. Go away. Go. Anyway, yeah. That's what's up. So well done for watching, and I hope you've learned something. I've taught you so many things today. If you don't learn, that is up to you. But I'm leaving this information behind for your own benefit. If you watch my channel long enough, you'll be able to learn a lot. You really will learn a lot. And thank you for watching. Have a good night from me. For those of you that are still having daytime, have a wonderful day. Take care of yourselves, and I hope you're okay. If you're not okay, I wish you a quick recovery. Get well soon, and much love, okay? See ya.